Rosan Runde, President Carleton University, and Mrs. Narendra Chauhan, the High Commissioner of India, Vijay Lakshman, and Baj Dahan, and because of him, we have all assembled here. Friends, I am indeed delighted to visit Carleton University and deliver the Dahan lecture and interact with the students and faculty members and Indo-Canadian community members and distinguished guests. My greetings to the Dahan family for their philanthropic, education and societal transformation activities in Canada and India, and I greet the Canada-India Centre for Excellence in Science, Technology, Trade and Policy and Carleton University for hosting this lecture. I am very happy to be in the campus of Carleton University, which is known for its strength in a variety of fields like engineering, humanities, international business, journalism, political science, and public policy and administration and legal studies. I would like to congratulate the Carleton University for the academic excellence and standing in the nation and the world. The university has made its mark in the realm of innovation and has generated specialists in engineering, arts, politics, law, and many other fields. The creative and interdisciplinary approach to the research at Carleton University has led to many significant creative works in science and technology, business, governance, public policy, and the arts. When I am in the midst of such a renowned university full of young research and entrepreneurial minds who would be transformers of tomorrow, I would like to share my thoughts on the theme birth of enlightened society. Birth of enlightened society, that's the topic for next 20 minutes I will be discussing with you. Now friends, I start like this. Dear friends, when I studied the Canadian history, I find that in 1867, with the union of 3 British North American colonies through Confederation, Canada was formed as a federal dominion of 4 provinces. During the same period, in 1857, India started its freedom movement, and we got the freedom in 1947. Nearly during the last 150 years, the dynamics of the world is full of hope one side and series of concern on the other. During this period, we have witnessed 2 world wars, hundreds of battles between and among societies, and also birth of more than 123 democratic nations being freed from foreign dominations. A world body called United Nations has been constituted with a Security Council. In the midst of conflicts between nations, it is reassuring to see the evolution of European Parliament, integrating 27 European nations who were waging war against each other for over a century. Great events in the history which have happened in Asia is the birth of Republic of China and the Republic of India. Both these republics have their own way of life. Of course, the subcontinent went through a great turmoil before the freedom. Similarly, in the Middle East region, a new nation, Israel, is born in the midst of war. There is a tendency seen in different regions in the world. Nations are desiring to come together for economic development of the region and promoting peace and prosperity. That is how ASEAN and SAARC are born on the lines of European Union. However, there is a need for these cooperation to get strengthened further through an institutional mechanism. Another star which appears in front of us, women empowerment, taking place in democratic countries, both at the helm of political leadership and parliament. Still, we have long way to go. In history, we have seen how the slavery has been a curse, and a person like Abraham Lincoln entered into the scene, and in the midst of conflict and war, USA was born. But Lincoln was assassinated. In India, a new experiment started by Mahatma Gandhi in 1930s, the Ahimsa Dharma, that is peaceful non-cooperation movement, not only resulted in India's attaining its freedom, but the cause of freedom for many nations. Similarly, in Africa, the apartheid system, which was present for centuries, was eliminated due to the sacrifice of persons like Nelson Mandela, who was in prison for over 26 years. In short, during the last 150 years, we have seen how world of nations have recovered from wars and have been successful in generating peace, at least in certain regions. Slavery has been abolished. Democratic institutions have started working. The use of science and technology through humane enterprises have started improving the lifestyle of societies. Large number of people have moved over to the electricity from the kerosene lamp. Instant worldwide communication with audio video has become possible. Transportation speeds have increased phenomenally, and the World Wide Web has made the world a single unit. In spite of all the good side which I have presented, we are aware that the world is still faced with the pressing problem of conflict of civilization, arising out of language, religion, cultural disparities, poverty encompassing around half the population of the world, shortage of water for 50% of population of the world, and a large part of population suffering from new diseases, and most importantly, planet Earth being in the grip of climate change phenomena due to indiscriminate use of fossil fuel. Now I am going to talk to you a vision for a peaceful and prosperous world. Peaceful and prosperous world. In this environment of conflicts, I am asking myself, in the presence of such an enlightened audience in Canton campus, can we collectively make it possible in every part of the world, people living in a green environment without pollution, having prosperity without poverty, a peace without fear of war, and a happy place to live lives for all citizens of the world. This is the theme of the talk. Friends, I am going to present a researched solution based on my lectures to multiple universities in India and abroad, and working on number of projects with youth of the nations. We have generated a treatise called Evolution of a World Enlightened Citizen. Evolution of World Enlightened Citizen. I am inspired by the words of Swami Vivekananda. He said, God is present in every jiva, every life. There is no other God beside that who serves jiva, serves God indeed. For achieving this, what we need is a carrier of eternal goodness among all human beings with wholesome human contact, and this is the righteousness in the heart, a hymn which I have heard in a spiritual center. It goes like this: where there is a righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. Where there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. Where there is harmony in the home, there is order in the nation. Where there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. So friend, this is true for the whole world. When we need peace in the world, we need order in the nation. We need harmony in the home. Whichever part of the world, the origin is righteousness in the heart. How do you evolve righteousness in the heart for every citizen of the world? That is the starting point of evolution of enlightened citizens of the world. Evolution of an enlightened society. Friends, I would like to put forth to this important gathering a methodology for evolving a happy, prosperous and peaceful society in our planet, which I call it evolution of a world enlightened citizens. How do we create such an enlightened citizen? It can be achieved through a three-dimensional approach, namely education with value system, religion transformed into spirituality, this is tough but it has to be done, economic development for societal transformation. Let us discuss education with value system. We have seen that the seeds of peace in the world have their origin in the righteousness in the heart of every individual. Such righteousness citizens lead to the evolution of an enlightened society. The education value system has been so designed that the righteousness in the heart is developed in young minds. That should be the mission of education. The prime learning environment is to 5 to 17 years of age. This reminds me of an ancient Greek teacher saying, give me a child for 7 years. Afterwards, let God or devil take the child, they cannot change the child. This indicates the power of great teachers and what they can inculcate in the young minds. Parents and teachers must inculcate moral leadership among the children. It requires the ability to have insight into the uniqueness and universality of the human consciousness. True education is the acquisition of enlightened feelings and enlightened power to understand daily events and to understand the permanent truth linking man to his environment, human and planetary. While I was in a college, long ago, many of you are not in idea form, 1950s. When I was in college, I remember the lectures given by the highest authority of a Jesuit institution, Reverend Father Rector Kalathil of St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, Southern India. Every week, on Monday, the Father Rector will come, will take a class for an hour. He used to talk about good human beings, present and past, and what makes good human beings. In this class, he used to give lectures on personalities such as Buddha, Confucius, Saint Augustine, Khalifa Umar, Mahatma Gandhi, Einstein, Abraham Lincoln, and moral stories linked to our civilizational heritage. In the moral science class, Reverend Father Kalathil used to highlight the best aspect of how the great personalities have been evolved as a good human beings through parental care, teaching, and championship of the great books. Even though these lessons were given to me in 1950s, during my college days, they inspire me even today. It is essential that in the schools and colleges, lectures are given by great teachers of the institution once in a week for 1 hour on civilizational heritage and derived value system. This may be called as a moral science class that will elevate the young mind to love the country, to love the other human beings, and to elevate them to higher planes. Members participating in this event today may like to consider evolving a system that would enable our youth to imbibe these fundamental traits for the benefit of all. Now let me take up the area that is transforming religion into a spiritual force. I would like to share an experience that I have witnessed myself, which has convinced me that it is possible. Many of them say it's not possible, but I am going to give an experience how it was possible. Now, religion has two components, theology and spirituality. Even though theology is unique to every religion, the spiritual component spreads the value to be inculcated by the human beings for promoting good human life, welfare of the society while pursuing the material life. I would like to share an experience how the religion and science came together in a big mission in southern part of India. It was during early 1960s. The founder of Indian Space Research Program, Professor Vikram Sarabhai, who is the father of the space program, with his team had located a place technically more suited for space research after considering many alternatives. The place called Tumba in Kerala was selected for space research as it was near the magnetic equator, ideally suited for ionospheric and electrojet research in upper atmosphere. I was fortunate to work with Professor Vikram Sarabhai for about 8 years. The major challenge for Professor Vikram Sarabhai was to get the place in a specific area, that is Tumba area. As was normal, Professor Vikram Sarabhai approached Kerala government administrators first. After seeing the profile of the land and the sea coast, the view expressed was that thousands of fishing people lived there. The place had an ancient Saint Mary church, bishop's house, and a school. Hence, it would be very difficult to give this land, and they were willing to provide land in an alternative area. Similarly, the political system also opinioned, the chief minister and all opinion, that would be a very difficult situation due to the existence of important institutions and the concern for people who had to be relocated. However, there was one suggestion from the chief minister. He suggested to approach the only person who could advise and help. That was Bishop Reverend Father Peter Bernard Pereira. I was there with him at that time. Professor Vikram Sarabhai approached the bishop on a Saturday evening, and I still remember the meeting between the two turned out to be historical. Many of us witnessed the event. Reverend Father exclaimed, "Oh Vikram," Vikram is a Vikram Sarabhai, "Oh Vikram, you are asking my children's abode, my abode, my God's abode. How is it possible?" But both had the unique quality. That unique quality was a difficult time, both of them can smile. Reverend Father Peter Bernard Pereira asked Professor Vikram Sarabhai to come to the church on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Professor Vikram Sarabhai went to the church again on Sunday with his team. At that time, the prayer was progressing. Sunday prayer was progressing with a recitation of Bible by Father Pereira. After the prayer was over, the bishop invited Professor Vikram Sarabhai to come to the dais. The Reverend Father introduced Professor Vikram Sarabhai to the mass, thousands of people of local area. "Dear children, here is a scientist, Professor Vikram Sarabhai. What science do? All of us experience, including the church, the light from the electricity. I am able to talk to you through the mic, which is made possible by technology. The treatment to patient by doctors comes from medical sciences. Science through technology enhances the comfort and quality of human life. What I do as a preacher, I pray for you, for your well-being, for your peace." In short, what Vikram is doing, what I am doing are the same. Both science and spirituality seek the Almighty's blessing for human one-side prosperity in body and mind. Dear children, that is Peter Pereira, Reverend Father Peter Pereira said, "Dear children, Professor Vikram says he would build within a year near the sea coast, alternative facilities what we are having. Now, dear children, can we give our abode? Can we give my abode? Can we give the God's abode for a great scientific mission?" There was a total silence like what you are holding now, a pin drop silence. Then all of them got up and said, "Amen," which made the whole church reverberate. Friends, that was the church. We had our design center where we started rocket design, rocket development, rocket assembly, and the Bishop House was our scientist working place. Later, Tumba Equatorial Launching Station led to the establishment of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, and the space activities transformed the multiple space centers throughout the country. Now, this church has become an important center of learning, where thousands of people learn about the dynamics of history of the space program of India and the great minds of scientists and spiritual leaders. Of course, the Tumba citizen got the well-equipped facilities, worshipping place, and the educational center in an alternate place at the right time. When I think of this event, I see how enlightened spiritual and scientific leaders can converge towards giving reverence to the human life. Of course, the birth of TERLS and Vikram Sarabhai Space Center gave the country the capacity for launch vehicles, spacecraft, and space application that have accelerated social economic development in India to unprecedented levels. Today, among us, Professor Vikram Sarabhai is not there. Reverend Peter Bernard Pereira is not there. But those who are responsible for creation and making flowers to blossom will themselves be a different kind of flower, as described in Bhagavad Gita, which says, "See the flower, how generously it distributes the perfume and honey. It gives to all, gives freely of its love. When its work is done, it falls away quietly. Try to be like the flower, unassuming despite all its qualities." What a beautiful message to the humanity on the purpose of life reflected of the spiritual component. Can we bridge the spiritual component of the religion to bring peace to the nation and to the world? I have given you an example. I am trying to look at, is there something happened anywhere in the world? If you are aware, you can send a mail to me, apj@abdulkalam.com. Now, friends, I would like to talk to unity of minds. I like to recall one incident which commonly occur in many parts of my country. I have witnessed this event when I was a young boy, 10 years old, 1941, British India. In our house, periodically, I used to see three different unique personalities meet. Pachi Lakshmana Shastrihal, who was the head priest of famous Rameswaram temple and a Vedic scholar. Reverend Father Bodal, who built the first church in Rameswaram island, and my father, who was the imam in the mosque. All the three of them used to sit and discuss the island's problems and find solution. In addition, they built several religious connectivities with compassion. These connectivities quietly spread to others in the island like a fragrance from the flowers. This sight always comes to my mind whenever I discuss with the people of dialogue of religions. Thought throughout the world, the need to have a frank dialogue among cultures, religions, civilization, and is being felt now more than ever. These two instances, what I have narrated, give me confidence that religion definitely can be bridged through spiritual components. We have to spread such glad tidings to every part of the world. Now, friends, finally, let us discuss the third important component of an enlightened society, which is to achieve economic development for the societal transformation. For example, Indian economy is growing 6% per annum because of otherwise 9%. Now, last 2 years, 6% per annum. We have to work for increasing this growth in the three sectors: agriculture, manufacturing, and service sector. Our aim is 12th plan is to realize the target of 8.2% or more GDP. We have a mission of spreading this economic growth throughout the country through a program called PURA, providing urban amenities in the rural area, which envisages provision of physical, electronic, knowledge connectivity, leading to economic connectivity of all the 600,000 villages in the country. This will uplift the quality of life of 350 million people living below poverty line. The aim of the program is to empower the citizens with good quality of life encompassing nutritious food, good habitat, clean environment, affordable health care, quality education, and productive employment integrated with our value system drawn from civilization heritage, leading to the comprehensive development of the nation that will bring smiles in 1 billion plus people. Every nation can have its own vision for economic development. In conclusion, friends, I have seen three dreams which have taken shape as a vision, a mission, and realization. Space program of Indian Space Research Organization, Agni program of Defense Research Development Organization, PURA providing urban amenities rural area becoming the national mission. Of course, these three programs succeeded in the midst of many challenges and problems. I have worked in all these three areas. I would like to convey to you all friends, particularly young friends, what they have learned on leadership from these three programs. Number one, leader must have a vision. He should be a visionary or she should be a visionary. Leader must have a passion and accomplish the mission. Leader must be able to travel into an unexplored path. Leader must know how to manage a success and failure. Leader must have courage to take decision. Leader should have nobility in management. Leader, every action of the leader should be transparent. Leader, most importantly, should work with integrity and succeed with integrity. I have been discussing these essential traits of creative leaders with people of eminence in different areas and students from India and abroad. Apart from this, what is needed is the spirit among the youth, that is, I can do it. We can do it, it will transform into we can do it, and further it will transform into nation can do it. Our education institution have to concentrate on developing the leadership traits and the confidence to perform among every youth of the nation. This quality of leadership will certainly empower the nations of the world with suitable development, prosperity, peace as focus. I once again thank the Carleton University for providing me an opportunity to address and interact with the student, faculty, and Indo-Canadian community in this beautiful environment. My best wishes to the Hahn family and all of you for success in all your mission. May God bless you all, friends. Well, I was a professor and I was teaching and doing research in southern part of India. One day, Prime Minister called me. There is a general view, including opposition, you guys should become the president. Okay. So I said, I need some time, 2 hours to discuss and come back to you. So I went to my colleagues, academic colleagues, they said, don't go politics like you said. Don't go. But I had a mission. My mission was, at that time, we had a roadmap. India 2020 vision. By the year 2020, India should be economically developed nation. That is, poverty of the people 30% should be lifted up. I had a roadmap with proposals, with a document prepared by 500 experts, but I want to market it. I thought if I become the President of India, I will market it to the Parliament, I will market it to the Cabinet. I did it. But I want to tell you one thing. You can go to my website www.abdulkalam.com, click Networking of Rivers. There I have suggested that internally every state should have a smart riverway, so that will be continuously, it be dynamic and it be economic and tourist value it will have. So I am pushing that idea. Definitely I will like to get your thoughts on that by apj@abdulkalam.com. If I give my thoughts, will you follow? Okay. Sir, one thing I want to tell you, every nation has got a law against corruption. And India is fighting to have a law, that strong law, to put the people in the prisons. But naturally, prisons will get filled up, is it not? So is there any other solution? There only I come. The solution is, I have proposed what is called a happy family. Happy family. I have developed an equation. Happy family is equal to a spiritual house plus happy mother plus a father free from corruption plus a home, clean home, green home. Now, this is what I proposed. I have given the details. You want to know the details? You want to have the details? No. The message is very clear. Okay, very good. That means one message I want to give, I feel a happy family emanates from a happy mother. There is lot of young people are there, okay? Lot of young people are there. Will you repeat with me if you don't mind? Will you repeat with me? Yes or no? Yes? Today onwards, you are not eaten 3 days. Today onwards, I will make my mother happy. If my mother is happy, my home is happy. If my home is happy, society is happy. If society is happy, Canada will be happy. Well, sir, it is like this. I still believe 2020 is possible, even though last 2 years our GDP, because of the world problems, we also got sucked in. We brought down 6.9% GDP growth. I personally believe by next year we'll go to 9% and we'll move 9 to 10%, 8 years more for India 2020. Of all resources, we have number of resources. One best resource we have, the young population. A democratic young population of 600 million people. They are the reignited mind of the youth is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth, under the earth. So they will make it possible. They will make it possible. They will make it possible. Well, it's a good question. I am promoter of, because I am a space fellow, promoter of Earth, Moon, Mars as an economic complex. Because our population 7 billion, the world population, and it may go to 9 billion by another 10 to 15 years time. So because water is found in the moon, and the good news given by the discoverer. So I personally believe that Earth, Moon, Mars should be one single economic complex because people should move. You will bring the material, and this is the one general information I want to give you because I am a promoter of this complex, economic complex. But to answer to your question, I have found in India, we have wherever, whichever state, whichever province, we have the education as a primary area, education, particularly women education. We found that population automatically reduced, okay, so manageable size education. Now, the recently government of India passed a bill in parliament which says up to age 15, all the boys and girls will have free and compulsory education. This compulsory education free definitely will bring the girls' education very, very high and the population automatically controlled. That is my feeling. Well, FDI, case by case we have to study. You see what happens. We produce 250 million tons of food agriculture. But our farmers don't do the value addition. If FDI is going to help us, the value addition of the produce by the farmers, I will go with that. I have also informed openly, FDI in certain area, I am for it. Okay. Very fantastic question, sir. But one thing I want to tell you, look at this light. This light, just look at the light. When you see the light, you remember one great man, Thomas Alva Edison. When he started the bulb making and the electricity system want to make it, nobody believed it, nobody supported it, but he did it. Okay. Then the aircraft fly, Wright brothers, 1885, the academician and professor Kelvin said, nothing heavier than air can be flown. 1903, Wright brothers they flew. Okay. Then another person is whenever bell rings, you remember one person, Alexander Graham Bell. When he made a telephone, they said useless toy. Today, all of us proud to have each telephone. Similarly, I personally against fossil fuel. For in my country, I am against fossil fuel because when you come to this place, you come in a car. Each car, when you put a 1 gallon, 1 liter, you are generating 2 kilograms of carbon dioxide. The whole world makes 36 gigaton carbon dioxide damaging the earth. So I am proposing my country energy independence. Energy independence means you go away from fossil fuel, go for solar power, wind power, nuclear power, hydropower and biofuel, all of them clean. Okay, I am pushing that. Nuclear power, I want to assure you, there are 546 nuclear reactors in the world. Okay, 546. Nearly 1/3 of the power is generated by nuclear power. What is the biggest obstacle in your aims? Biggest obstacle, it cannot be done. The feeling of youth, when they get a feeling it cannot be done, is a dangerous trend. So I am pushing an idea, confident. I am confident. You want to hear that? You must youth. How many youth fellows are there? How many youth guys are there? Okay, some of them tend to become youth also. Okay. Now I am going to tell you how the one poem, it is written in 13th century, becomes so popular. I have modified the poem to suit the occasion to the young people. It is like this. It is called I Will Fly. Name of the poem is I Will Fly. Now my friend is trying to locate where it is. Good success for him. He has found out. Yes. This is I will fly. Will you repeat? If young minds can repeat. Will you repeat? I am born with potential. I am born with goodness and trust. I am born with ideas and dreams. I am born with greatness. I am born with confidence. I am born with wings. So I am not meant for crawling, because I have wings. I will fly. I fly. I fly. That is the answer for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am indeed delighted to be with the honorable members of the European Parliament on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee year of the European Union. I am reminded of the dream of an Indian poet, Kaniyan Pungundranar, who articulated in 3000 years back in Tamil classic Purananur. He says, Yadum Ure Yavarum Kelir, which means, I am a world citizen. Every citizen is my own kith and kin, he said 3000 years back. As we say in India, where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is an order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world.
Today, I am delighted to be in the midst of the members of the University of Kentucky, recognized for its world-class arts, science, and technology programs. And my greetings to the student, faculty members, alumni, staff, and distinguished guests and assembled here. I consider it as a great honor to me for being awarded the Doctorate of Science by prestigious university whose core values are innovation, creativity, problem solving, and collaborative teamwork, which is essential for a sustainable societal growth. My greetings to the university authorities and the Board of Trustees. Dear friends, today morning I had an interaction with Gatton College of Business and Economics students and faculty, where I have already elaborated on the possible collaborative research mission between University of Kentucky and Indian universities through the establishment of World Knowledge Platform. Now I would like to talk on the topic, dynamics of the peace. During the year 2003, I visited one of the Indian states, Arunachal Pradesh. I visited a Buddhist monastery at Tawang, 3,500 meter altitude. I stayed and spent some time, nearly for a day. I observed a unique situation in all the villages nearby, where young and experienced were all radiating happiness in spite of severe winter environment. Then I visited the 400 years old Tawang monastery itself, and there also I saw monks of all age groups in the state of serenity. I was asking myself, what is the unique feature of Tawang and the surrounding villages which makes people and monks to be at peace with themselves? When the time came, I asked the chief monk, how Tawang villages and monastery, I am experiencing a peace and happiness being radiated by everyone. There was a pause. The chief monk smiled. He said, you are the President of India. You will be knowing all about us and the whole nation. Again I said, it is very important for me, you please give me your thoughtful analysis, I asked the monk. There was a beautiful golden image of Lord Buddha, radiating smile and peace. The chief monk assembled nearby all his nearly 100 young and experienced monks. The chief monk and myself were sitting amidst them. The chief monk gave a short discourse, which I would like to share with you. Chief monk said, quote, in the present world, we have a problem of distrust, unhappiness transforming into violence. This monastery spreads when you remove I and me. When you remove I and me from your mind, you will eliminate ego. You will eliminate ego. If you get rid of ego, hatred towards fellow human beings will vanish. If the hatred goes out of our mind, the violence in thinking and action will disappear. If violence in our mind is taken away, peace springs in human minds. Then peace and peace and peace alone will blossom in the society, unquote. I realized the meaning of the beautiful equation for peaceful life, but difficult mission for the individual is how to remove the ethos of I and me. For this we need the education inculcated at the young age in all our educational institutions. Recently, I met His Holiness Dalai Lama during the launching of Global Foundation for Civilization Harmony at New Delhi. Dalai Lama said, His Holiness said, that as per one of the medical research study, it has been found that the people who utter the word I several times have greater tendency to have health problems both physically and mentally. In my search for evolving a peaceful and prosperous society, I got part of the answer. My search for real truth continues. I saw an ancient Christian monastery in Bulgaria where I had a discussion with highly experienced monks on the message of Tawam. The monk added that the forgiveness is also the foundation of the good life. Similarly, in the birthplace of Swami Vivekananda, I explained the Tawang experience to the disciples, and they too felt the Tawang experience indeed is beautiful. They added, trait of giving will add to peace and happiness. Then I visited Ajmer Sharif, where I participated in the Friday Namaz. Here the Sufi expert told me that Almighty's creation, the man has been challenged with another powerful creation of Shaitan. Only good deeds lead to good thinking. Good thinking results into actions radiating love as commanded by the Almighty. While talking about good deeds, I am reminded of the advice given to Gandhiji by his mother when Gandhiji was a 9-year-old boy. She says, mother said to son, son, in your entire lifetime, if you can save or better someone's life, your birth as a human being and your life is a success. You have the blessing of the Almighty God. This is the advice Mother of Mahatma Gandhi gave to her son. This advice has made a deep impact in the mind of Gandhiji, which made him to work for the humanity throughout his life. During his 100th birthday of His Holiness, Sri Sri Shivakumara Swamiji of Sri Siddhaganga Math, Tamkur, a southern state of India, a message of giving came to my mind, celebrating his contribution, which I would like to share with you. It says that, O my fellow citizen, in giving you receive happiness in body and soul. You have everything to give. If you have knowledge, share it. If you have resource, share it with the needy. Use your mind and heart to remove the pain of the suffering and cheer the sad hearts, and giving you receive the happiness. Almighty will bless all your actions. What a message! What message do we get from all this experience? All this experience give an insight that human being can attain lasting peace and happiness only when they rise above themselves and work towards serving others without external temptation. Is it utopian goal or is it practicable the day-to-day life? I have come across many incidents where people have, irrespective of their normal professional affiliation, have come forward for great societal mission by giving. While I'm with you, I would like to recall one event that has resulted in the evolution of peace doctrine by 5 great souls. I remember at that time I was the principal scientific advisor. On 30th September 2001, I was on my way to Pokhara, a steel town from Ranchi in Jharkhand, when the helicopter carrying me crashed moments before landing. The helicopter hit the earth with a terrible impact after its engine failed, and I saw all around the broken pieces of rotors and many parts of the helicopter. All of us on the board had a miraculous escape. Grateful to God, but unfazed by the incident, I went ahead with my scheduled program of addressing the students of Pokhara and the members of management of Pokhara steel plant. At night, however, a panel of doctors checked me and persuaded me to take a tranquilizer to alleviate my perceived shock. The truck made me sleep hours ahead of my usual time, 1 a.m. Also, I failed to rise at my usual 6 a.m. and woke up only after 8 o'clock. It was, however, a disturbed sleep, and sometime in the middle of it turned into a dream. In the dream, I fell to thinking why the human race, the best of all God's creation, has been so deeply divided by violence. I imagined a conversation between 5 people who together symbolize the first attributes of the human mind, whom I admire deeply. Through their conversation, I sought an answer. In this experience, much more intense and vivid than a dream, though for want of better word, I shall term it that I saw myself in a desert with miles of sandy hills in all around. There was a full moon, and desert was bathed in its light. 5 great men, Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein, Emperor Ashoka, Khalifa Umar, and Abraham Lincoln stood in a circle, their clothes ruffled by the wind, sandy wind. I felt myself dwarfed, standing next to the majestic Emperor Ashoka. Ashoka led 2 lives, one as a ruthless conqueror and the other as a compassionate ruler. The man I stood beside was the one who had just returned from conquest, but victory had been obtained at a heavy cost. The Battle of Kalinga claimed the lives of at least 100,000 people, and an equal number were wounded. I saw everyone looking at Ashoka, who fell on his knees and removed his armor and crown. His face was pale, reflecting the death surrounding him. He looked at the sky. He saw the bright, cool moon shining and God's grace pouring down on the Mother Earth. And he looked down at the horror he has created, making blood flow everywhere. In that moment of beauty and horror, the silver moonlit night, and the suffering and pain on the ground, when nature itself seemed to speak out against what he has done, then the Ahimsa Dharma was born. Emperor Ashoka embraced God's command to propagate the love for the human being through this Ahimsa Dharma doctrine. As I stood by, I wondered why the Kalinga War, why the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, why the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, or many others like them. Has God Almighty faltered in His creation? Is the destruction of the mankind essential for a second creation? In that blissful silence, the Mahatma Gandhi spoke. He said, "Friends, the divine message we are hearing is the message of creation. Since we all belong to planet Earth, we may give a message to mankind how people of different races, religion, and languages can live peacefully and prosperously together. God Almighty," Mahatma Gandhi said, "God Almighty has blessed us all with something unique that we passed on to mankind through our deeds and efforts. Is that working? Is there any divine message or doctrine? Divine beauty should enter into the human soul and happiness blossom in the body mind. Is it possible? Also, the Emperor Ashoka said, friends, there is one thing I have realized. There is no victory in causing suffering. Triumph is a peaceful kingdom. Khalifa Umar said, I learned after I entered Jerusalem that all men are equal. There is no point in forcing others to follow your path. You will get only that which is ordained for you. God alone is the sovereign. Khalifa Umar never saw his position in terms of his special privileges that is carried. To him, government was a sacred trust, and he did his best not to betray the trust in any way. It was Einstein's turn. Einstein said, I would like to recall my friend Werner Heisenberg's view, quote, you know, in the West, we have built a large, beautiful ship. It has all the comforts in it. But one thing is missing. It has no compass and does not know where to go. Men like Tagore and Gandhiji and their spiritual forebearers found the compass. Why can't this compass not be put in the human ship so that both can realize their purpose? Abraham Lincoln, the great American leader who fought against the slavery, whose life paralleled that of Mahatma Gandhi in many respects, said at this point, quote, there is one thing that I would like to say. Happiness comes from the family's prosperity and happiness at various levels. God's grace gives bliss to human lives. Happiness and bliss are two important components of a godly life on earth. Perhaps there is so much conflict between people and nation because in our pursuit of prosperity and power, we have lost sight of ethical values. We must ask ourselves, what is the role of human consciousness? Does it have a part in political thinking, scientific thinking, and theological thinking? Is spirituality acceptable in the business of life? Mahatma Gandhi recalled sage Ashtavakra, who propounded to the people, "O my son, you are the very consciousness within which arises this phenomenal universe that is not separate from what you are. How can there be a question of anything being acceptable or unacceptable? Does it mean conscience is the light of the soul that burns within the chambers of our psychological heart?" The five great souls concluded, let the business of life be peace and prosperity, and not exploitation and conflict. Giving always gives highest order of happiness. This is our message to the planet. Everything that we do, any doctrine that we expose should be for the good of humankind. Recently, friends, in conclusion, I came across a book, 5 Minds for the Future, written by the Howard Gardner. My curiosity and desire increased to go into the details of this book, particularly in the today's world environment of the social conflict, political violence, impact of globalization. I studied the 5 minds of the future. Let me describe based on my understanding. Number 1, the disciplinary mind. Number 2, synthetic mind. And number 3 is the creative mind. Number 4, respectful mind. And number 5, the ethical mind. In the present scenario, the need for respecting minds and ethical minds is very important because many of the societal problems today are arising out of the lack of consideration for others and the overwhelming selfishness of the individual. The education system has to cultivate these minds among the youth so that they learn to respect others, are tolerant and perseverant for realizing their goals in life. Once again, let me thank the members of the University of Kentucky for this unique honor of my being awarded with a degree of doctorate. My best wishes to all the members of the University of Kentucky for success in their mission of providing a distinctive education to the youth from many parts of the world, which will enable them to solve many societal issues. And my best wishes. May God bless you all, friends.
My script asked for me to ask the audience to stand and give you a standing ovation, but they are well behaved, so your greatness preceded that comment. I just want to say in conclusion, I have now heard the President speak 3 times, and I can attest to the fact that we knew in reading his background that he was an intellectual technologist, a fellow engineer. I've learned since he's been here that he is a compassionate humanitarian. He is a man that has a strong belief in a higher purpose, and that is to take his home country of India from being a developing country to being a developed country. And as you can also see, he is a strong man of spirituality. And so it indeed is an honor for this institution to honor you with our highest degree. And thank you so much for being here. At this time, this concludes our academic celebration in honor of His Excellency, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I want to thank all of you participating today and wish you well. Thank you.
And dear students, to every one of you, my greetings. On this great day of a beautiful day of thinking about Swami Vivekananda, I am very happy to see young people. I am delighted to be here at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, and address the members of this renowned place of learning and other guests present here. My greeting to you, my friends. Before I start, I would like to say this IIT Madras is very close to my heart in many ways, because my professor who taught me design of aircraft, he became the director of this IIT Madras, Professor Pandale, and he was my guru. It's a fantastic guru because he used to take class 7:30 to 10:30 in Madras Institute of Technology. 7:30 to 3 hours class. Have you come across that 3 hours class? Have you? Have you? So he used to take every alternate day, he used to take 3 hours class. Friends, before I begin my address, I would like to share a thought with all the youth present here. I have met so far 11 million youths present, 11 million youth like you in a decade's time from various parts of the country. I have met, and in India and abroad, I have seen their hopes and experienced their pains, walked with their aspirations, and heard through their despair also. All this experience made me to learn something about them, which I would like to share with you. Shall I? I learned, carefully hear me what I am saying. I learned, what did I learn from the youth of 11 million people? I learned every youth wants to be unique. Every youth wants to be unique. That is you. Every youth wants to be unique, that is you. But the world around you is doing its best day and night to make you just everybody else. Now, the question is whether you want to be you or everybody else. You want to be you? Not everybody else. Now, if the question being like everybody else is convenient at the first glance, but not satisfying in the long vision. The challenge, therefore, my young friends, is that you have to fight the hardest battle. You have to fight the hardest battle which any human being can ever imagine to fight, and never stop fighting until you arrive at your destined place. That is the unique you. To get the unique you, it's a big battle. The battle means you don't need to take a gun. The battle means you have to have 4 unique things. 4 unique tools you must have in that battle. One is you have to set the goal.
The second one is acquire the knowledge continuously. And third one, it's a hard work with the devotion. And fourth is perseverance. These are the tools. Flood and heavy rain, it was pouring. Then I met one person. I met Shri Siddharth Jayakumar at the airport with his mother at Chennai airport, who was born in Chilkmangalore in Karnataka in the year 1980. He gave me, I am giving total details about him because few of you will get inspired by that. I'll be very happy. He gave me a presentation using a laptop. He came with a laptop, and his father's name is Shri Jayakumar and his mother's name is Komala. When he was born, the doctors did not know what he was suffering from. Later on, they said he's mentally retarded. After detailed examination, it was found that he was suffering from cerebral palsy. As a result of the disease, he was difficulty in coordination between his mind and body. You know what's the type of problem. He studied in Vidyasagar at Chennai. Though he studied very well, he has to dictate the answers to another student while writing the examination. Fortunately, our system allows that. In spite of this process, in the 10th class examination, he had scored 80%. He says he could not score more just because he was not allowed to do the practical and could not draw the diagrams. In the plus 2 examination, he had secured an overall 90% and scored 100% computer science. It is pertinent to note that he is the only boy to score 100% in this subject. Later, he studied BCom and scored 75%. He wanted to study master in social work, whereas he was given MA economics in the Loyola College. He has scored 78% in his final examination. Sri Siddharth, after completing his MA, worked as a teacher in Vidyasagar itself. Later, he attended a disability job fair. This disability job fair, I suggest to our Honorable Minister, this should be done in every small towns and cities in our country. Later, he attended a disability job fair organized by Ability Foundation, an NGO working for the welfare of the disabled. In the job fair, he was selected by ABN AMRO looking at his academic track record. ABN AMRO is the bank, has designated him as an officer for verifying the export and import documents of the clients. To enable him to perform this job, ABN AMRO Bank has trained him to learn the banking and import and export procedures of countries like Japan, Korea, Indonesia, Thailand, Australia. He is the first student to be employed with cerebral palsy outside Vidyasagar. He loves mathematics. He has a mission of carrying, I asked him, what is your mission? He has a mission of carrying out social work, particularly for uplifting the life of special people with multiple disabilities. What a beautiful thought. The experience of Sri Siddharth clearly brings out the special strength available with certain people with some disabilities. Our social system and the education institution must recognize the strengths of the individual and provide the opportunity for these flowers to blossom. Hence, the same thing happened, for example, in the case of Einstein. He's, of course, everything was okay in his system, but in the Germany, he was not given admission at the 9th class because he could not score. He could not pass all the subjects except physics and mathematics. Whereas when he went to Switzerland, and the principal saw his expertise in physics and mathematics, and he directly admitted him in a polytechnic. So that one single action of a teacher, recognizing the best of the mind, we got the relativity, the world got the relativity theory, the world got the famous equation E equal to mc square. The same thing happened to Ramanujam, a genius in Ramanujam, mathematics genius, and nobody recognized, only Professor Hardy, Cambridge, recognized his mathematics, and today number theory brought out, and at that time there is one Pundi, and Namaswaya Mudriyar, with anguish he says, it is the destiny of our nation that an Indian brain requires an acknowledgement from a foreign